Okay, so this is a video. I asked people inside of my group a video that they wanted, and people requested a video to talk about patience and entry. And so here's a situation where we can have potential entry to see price going higher because basically what we have right here is we have a market structure shift, right? And we have a displacement going through a market structure shift. And you can even use this level here for your market structure shift if you want it. But what we would have to do is be patient because we did get, like, you could have entered off of this inversion here. You could have simply entered off of there. But let's say you're not an inversion trader. Let's say you want to wait on a retracement. So if you want to wait on a retracement, what you would have to do is you would have to let this candle close and you have to wait for a retracement back into this candle here. And remember, all of our trades want to come from higher time frames. Like, we want to be trading what's happening on the higher time frame. So we want to make sure that we're aligned. And let's just say, let's just say these equal lows right here is helping you form your bias. Let's say these relative equal lows that we swept this, and now you're bullish. So now you're looking for bullish trades. And let's say and we also reclaim let's see if I can find it on my chart. My chart is a little messy right now. Or maybe I'm on MNQ, so it's gonna be harder to show on here, but we can reclaim the previous day. If I can just show you on the previous day candle, we claimed the previous day 50% of this candle. So we're now higher than 50% of the previous day candle. And a lot of times, and when we reclaim that and we show strength, a lot of times we want to go back up to that high. So that's helping me form my bullish bias. So if I'm looking for a bullish setup, what I want to be doing is now I want to be waiting for this retracement back into this fair value gap. And it takes patience because if you see, we're on the 5 minute time frame. So what does that mean? We have to wait now 4 minutes and 23 seconds in order to see an entry because we got our displacement and we got a fair value gap. So now we want to be looking for a retracement. And I know you're probably thinking, where's the sweep of London low, or where's the sweep of liquidity? If we come and look at YM, you can just come to YM1, you'll see that YM1 swept its London low, and you can use YM for SMT with NQ. So now it's just a waiting game of can we get a retracement into this gap? And that's the thing about patience is you won't always even get a retracement into this gap. Like, sometimes price will just go without you. And that's where you really just have to find another setup or see can it continue, and then you get a future retracement. But like, this how it would look if you wanted to enter on the retracement of this. You could target 3 to 1, 2 to 1. That's really about preference, but that's what patience is all about. It's just you want to wait and let your setup form, and sometimes you'll miss it. Sometimes you'll miss it, but if you don't catch this inversion right here, where we create this inversion and you enter here off of this inversion, then you have to be patient and wait for another setup to arise. And sometimes that simply won't happen. So yeah, that's pretty much, and I can go more in depth and do a part two if you need a part two, but I just want to do this live. I can go back and find some other examples for the people in my group who are asking about this. But it's like you see how this gap is still left untouched. Like we still are having to wait for a retracement of some sorts before we can get in. So we have to be patient. And what you'll have a lot of times is people will see all of this green price action, and then they'll be like, okay, price is going up. It's super green. It's trending green. And then people will enter here, and now your risk to reward is skewed because you entered all the way up here, and then price could easily just dump and come back into this fair value gap. But as it retraces back into here, now you're stopped out of your position, and then it comes into here, and then it just shoots back up when you could have just been patient. But also with patience leads to sometimes you just have to miss out on trades. You just have to miss out. If you're not in position when the setups are rich, when they happen, then you miss out. But something that can help with that is learning about multiple entries. When you learn about multiple entries, if my favorite entry is the inversion setup. So with the inversion setup, this would be your entry. This would be your entry right here to start right here. You put your stop loss below here, and just for the sake, I'll move the stop loss here. And then you could just target a simple 2 to 1. You could target a simple 2 to 1, and you see how that would have played out. It would have got there with some speed, but it doesn't always happen like that. Was like, yeah, just with patience, it's just once you have your setup and you know your setup and you have repetition of your setup coming, a lot of times in the market, you will have to be very patient because your setup is not going to happen just because you are wanting it to happen. You will have to wait sometimes hours. Because think about this, if we see something on the 4 hour time frame, like if we see something on the 4 hour time frame, we get a liquidity sweep. Like we got this liquidity sweep right here on the 4 hour time frame. If we're waiting for something to happen on the 4 hour time frame, do you know each candle is 4 hours? So that means we have to wait. We might have to wait 4 4 hour candles or 6 4 hour candles before what we think is going to happen plays out, or before we can even enter. So sometimes it's definitely about patience, or even like this weekly. Like if you see us tap, you see how long it took us to tap into this weekly gap right here. Like let me delete all of that. Like you see how long it took us to tap into this weekly gap. Like if you seen this weekly gap created, you would have had to wait 2 more weeks for us to tap into it and then price to go up. So sometimes it's just about mapping out your setup and just being patient and waiting, not compare it to hunting. If you are a hunter and you go hunting, then you know once you get in that deer stand, it's a game of waiting. You do all the preparation and everything you can beforehand, but you still have to wait and be patient. And this is the exact same thing. It's all about patience. But the best thing you can do is be prepared and have your game plan mapped out. That way, once it comes to the trade actually coming to fruition, all you have to do then is execute. That's all you have to do. And that's the good thing about being able to be patient is you get more time to focus on coming up with your game plan. And I've seen it a lot of times where people rush into setups, or they don't let the whole candle close and they get in early, and then the setup will go against them. So it's like you definitely want to be patient. You don't want to chase. Like when you just see this price moving up, it's easy to get FOMO. It's easy to have that fear of missing out because you just see price going up. But once you see price over a long period of time, you'll understand that price can go up. Like price can go up like this and it can come right back down fast. And you're just thinking one-sided. So it's like make sure you have a plan in a bias. That's the most important thing. You want to have over the near term future or long term, if you're in longer term positions, where do you think the market is going? Like, do you think the market is going bullish over the next couple of hours, days? Like, you want to make sure you don't want to just see price going down and you was bullish and you entering on a bearish setup just because price was moving down fast. So it's like just keep that in mind when you're looking for your setups. It's like to be patient. Let's go look at RTY to see, is it a would it be a good example? It's not really a good example on RTY. Let's look at gold. Maybe we can get a good example on gold. Let's see. Mm, not really. Let's see. Let me check the higher time frame one time. Okay. We have a tap into this gap here. So like this is what like if we was looking for a setup on this gold, we can see right now gold is in the uptrend. It's respecting all of these fair value gaps. Like you see right here, we're respecting this gap. We tapped into here, bounced up, tapped into this gap, bounced up, tapped into this gap, bounced up. So once price would have got into this gap, you would have been expecting it to bounce up. But you know that each one of these candles is an hour worth of price action. We're on the hourly. So in order for this setup to even form, you would have had to wait 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, five. You would have had to wait at least 5 hours before you could have even thought about getting into this setup. And once you waited that time period, then now you can drop down now you can drop down to your time frame once we tap into here, and now you can start hunting for your setup and looking for your entry. And like I said, my entry model is inversions. I like to enter on inversions, but I do also like to enter when the market actually opens. So in the market opens Eastern time at 9:30, and I trade off of Eastern time 9:30. So if you're Central time, you just go back an hour and the market opens 8:30 for you. So we do have an inversion here at 8 o'clock Eastern time, but I like to trade when the whole stock market actually opens. So I more so would like this inversion here, because if you see, soon as the market opens at 9:30, we close above this inversion and then price goes up. So that would be my entry model right there to enter here. But you see how long and how patient you would have to be to wait for that to happen. And even if you did miss that inversion, like on the 5 minute, this would have been us closing above that inversion. We did get fair value gaps here that price tapped into and went higher. So, like I said, a lot of trading is being patient. Like you will spend more prep time than you do in trades, and you'll spend more time waiting on the trade to actually happen than you actually do the trade. And it's just like sports. Like you spend a lot of time prepping for sports. Like you probably spend way more time prepping for sports than actually playing the sport. And trading is just like a sport. So we'll spend a lot of time prepping and getting prepared, but it's just to catch those little moments. Like sometimes I prepare for hours or for days just to catch a 5 minute setup. Or sometimes I'll be prepared and I will wake up at 8:30, come to the market, and I will have to wait 6, 7, almost 8 hours for my setup to happen. And I'll have to just be patient. And that's something that you have to learn how to do, is be patient. And not a lot of people know how to be patient. Most people chase, and the results of chasing are never are never good. So it's like you want to learn patience and learn to wait on your setup. But that comes from being able to trust your setup. That comes from when you back test and you look in the past and you see how your setup played out over 100-day trading period, over 50 days, like you've seen your setup multiple times. Most times when you chase or you're not able to be patient, it's because you don't have enough trust and you don't have a system that you believe in. Once you have a system that you believe in and you know how it works and you see how it works all the time, you don't mind being patient because you know your setup will be there. If it's not there on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, it might be Thursday. You know your setup is coming and you know how to trust it. So most times when people don't have that patience or they just have that hunger to get into something, they don't trust their process and they need to redefine their process and find something and collect data on it. A lot of this, you want to collect a lot of data with trading. Once you collect that data, it helps you to become more confident in the setups that you're trying to take. But that was just a little bit, I wanted to make a small video about that because people in my community were asking about videos on setup and patient. And like I said, once y'all watch this, if y'all do have further questions, I can go deeper, but I just wanted to go on those first few bases of just like being patient, trusting your setup, believing in your setup, collecting data on your setup. If you haven't went back over the past month or over October and looked at from October how your setup would have played every day, that's something you need to do to be able to trust your setup or even finding out what your setup is. And if you don't have a defined setup, you need to get with me and we could come up with a process that works for you. Maybe you're a reversal trader. Maybe you're a continuation trader. Maybe you like fair value gaps. Maybe you like liquidity sweeps. We need to figure that out if you don't have a defined setup.